It's great to be here, and it's great to be supporting startups in Orange County. We're an Orange County startup, so it's fun to be here, and it's fun to talk about our story with other startup people in Orange County. And so Nishad kind of asked me to talk about our brand, and I'm happy to do it. It's an exciting story. I think what we can do today is just sort of do this more conversationally. I don't have a presentation. It's just us talking about our story. And I want to give some tips about what we did early on to launch our company. Nishad touched on it a little bit. We started with crowdfunding on Indiegogo. So I want to touch on that. And I want to also share that doing a successful crowdfunding campaign isn't enough anymore. You got to build a sustainable business. And some of the partnerships that Nishad spoke about were possible because of our focus on building a sustainable business. So I want to talk to you, share more about how we did that, and hopefully you can take something away. So our story, like a lot of others, started with an idea. And our group got together, our founding group, and decided that someone should solve the problem of not knowing who's at your door when someone presses the doorbell. And we've probably all had that moment, right? So there's a moment in your life, in your day, when someone presses the doorbell and the voice inside the back of your mind says, gosh, I wish I could see who's there. And we created this idea. It's a video doorbell. So this is SkyBell. It's a video doorbell, and when someone presses the button, it sends a live video feed from this video camera to your phone. So you can see, hear, and speak to the person at your door, whether you're at home, whether you're at work, or on the go, or having a coffee in Paris. Doesn't matter. If your phone has internet, you can see who's at your door. And we had this idea, and one of our other founders and our CEO is here, Desiree Mejia is also here. She and I and our team got together and said, this is a great idea, but how do we get started? And we've had experience before doing startups. We had a tech product that was a GPS tracker. And this product was really good, and we did it the old traditional way. You raise money, you do rounds, use the money to develop your product. And we just didn't want to do that this time. There was a lot of reasons why that didn't work out for us, and that company's still going well, but we wanted it to do it a different way. And that way was crowdfunding. So with crowdfunding, I'm sure everybody has heard about it, but if you haven't, crowdfunding is a way to create a campaign, put it online on a website like Indiegogo or Kickstarter, and you ask people to buy your product early or donate to your campaign with the promise that you'll deliver them something. So in our case, it was a SkyBell. So we told them, here's our idea, here's our SkyBell. If you buy it now for a reduced price, we're going to send it to you. So you'll get it before everybody else does, you'll get it at a reduced price, and we receive that money, we use that money to develop our product. And it was so good for us. It really helped us launch the business. And the big thing to take away from this is that I think groups like this, like Eureka Lab and sort of, you know, this web, the point where we're at with web technology and websites like Kickstarter, Indiegogo, is that you can do this. You can hack how you start companies. And so that's what we did. We went to Indiegogo, we raised $600,000 in 35 days. In the first 2 days of our campaign, we were on Engadget. By the third day, we were on TechCrunch. By the fifth day, we were on Fast Company. We didn't really do anything to get that publicity. And that's what's so powerful about it. So after those 5 days, we reached our campaign goal of $100,000, which was awesome. And from there, 35 days in total, our campaign, we raised $600,000. That was really big for a couple of reasons, and that's what I want to share with this group, so maybe you can decide if it's a way you want to go, is crowdfunding is really great for a couple reasons, 5 really. One is that funding. That funding is huge, right? We use that funding to make our first version of product and get it to market. The second thing is market validation. Market validation is huge, right? Everybody wants to know, is your idea going to be responded, or is it going to resonate well with your customers? Instantly, if $600,000 comes in, that's 4,200 customers that voted that your idea was good with their wallets, which is stronger than just saying, yeah, I like that. I like that idea. They said, I like it enough to buy it before it even exists. So we knew we had a good idea. Number 3 is customer feedback. So one cool thing about crowdfunding is people just flood you with responses and emails. So in 30 days, I had 1,000 responses, comments, questions, I like this, I don't like that. And I was sitting there while we were doing this project with my notebook of all the things that we wanted to do with SkyBell, and I'm just crossing them off my list. Like, these people like this, check mark. They don't like this, cross it off. We're like running through our roadmap before we even made a product. So when that thing comes out, it's already made for the people that want it. I don't need to do an MVP. It's already going to be good. So that was huge. And then press, right? I mentioned it, TechCrunch, Engadget, Fast Company. That's 3 out of like 25 places that decided to write about us, which was very cool. We were very grateful for that coverage. And so I would say that between those things, you've got a very compelling case to now launch your company. You've got market validation, you've got the press, you've got brand, and the 5th thing I wanted to isolate is customers. So 4,250 people bought a SkyBell before they existed. And so it's huge for us. So we took that momentum. That ended in September of 2013. And I'm not going to go crazy on the timelines. I know that that's not why we're here. What we did is 4 months later, we shipped our product. So we made this thing in 4 months. We shipped it out to our customers. That was during CES. And at CES, we were nominated for the Innovations Award, which was a really big moment for us because Dropcam and Nest, 2 of the big names in our space in home automation, also won that award. And we think that that award was validated by our momentum on crowdfunding. It's all very real, how each level led to the next. And when we won that award, it kind of was a big validator. That up until this point, like crowdfunding projects were all very much like, oh, are they going to do it? Are they not? You know, there's still skepticism around like whether or not you can fulfill your products and give it to the people who backed your campaign. That was a big moment for us. So then a couple months later, in June of last year, we had a huge moment. That was the moment when, that was June, WWDC, Apple Keynote, they announced their HomeKit platform. This is a platform that allows lots of smart home devices like your doorbell, then like your lock, thermostat, lights, to all be coordinated. Instead of in a separate hub, they're going to coordinate everything through your phone. So this becomes basically the remote control for your life. And it's really cool. You can use Siri, say, Siri, I'm going to bed. And it might turn off the motion sensor in SkyBell, or maybe it will tell SkyBell not to ring the indoor chime if somebody activates the motion sensor. Maybe it turns off all your lights, make sure your door's locked. And obviously, we don't need to talk about Apple. Apple's a big company. And they actually showed our device in their presentation, which was a really big moment for us. To be an Indiegogo-backed company, to be on an Apple Keynote or in an Apple Keynote in 9 months was just incredible. And so I say that to sort of go back to our origin, which was the crowdfunding campaign. That's where it all started. And that's ultimately where Apple found us, believe it or not, too. So it was huge for us from a standpoint of announcing to everybody that we're launching this company, it's a great idea, and then gaining the momentum with partnerships like Apple and like some others that we'll soon announce to carry our business forward. And that's sort of the second thing that I want to talk about, which is when you launch your company, you can have a great idea, you can get on 25 write-ups in press, and people can ask you to speak, and that's great. But a lot of companies can't make that next step. And I'm grateful to be here today talking to you because I feel like we've made that jump into out of this Indiegogo darling into a company that is building a sustainable business that can stand the test of time. And we're in a very hot space, like Nishad mentioned. Home automation is just blowing up. And there's a lot of people competing. And to go from nothing to these partnerships with some of the biggest companies in the world in a year and a half is crucial because we were able to catch up to people who already, like Nest, Dropcam, these people who were already going. But for us, the key for building the sustainable business was 2 things. One was the product. We kept our eye on the product the whole time. So when we were making the product, the first version, with the Indiegogo backers, we kept our eye on feedback and what did people want from the product. And then we also used that same focus to our second version. So we never lost sight of this product. We wanted to make great product. The other thing that we did is from Indiegogo, we learned that all these users were giving us feedback, right? I want this feature, I want it to work like this. Oh, wouldn't it be cool if you had this feature where I could set a schedule and you could activate the motion sensor based on the schedule? That's just one example. We always listen to these people. And instead of being distracted by distribution deals or other avenues to go down, we just stayed real focused on two things, our product and our users. And it kind of felt sometimes like we were going to lose a step on people. It felt like when other people were announcing things or innovating, it seemed like we needed to do something more. But I'm really glad that we stayed focused. We kept our heads down. We just focused on product and on users. And so in November, a couple months ago, we launched the second version of SkyBell, which you see here today. It's a great unit. It's getting great reviews on Amazon. And I think it's because we learned so much along the way by listening to our users and just focusing on our product. And so I encourage everybody, whether your product is hardware, whether your product is a social tool, ad tech, whatever it might be, stay focused on your product. Like, do not get distracted by shiny objects. When your product's really good and you have users that want it and users are getting what they want from the product, it's always going to be better than trying to just go a shorter route or take some shortcuts. So I'd really like to stress that today. And then I also want to go back to the crowdfunding. Something that you can take away today is to learn from our experience and to learn what we did with crowdfunding, right? Those 5 things. But when you talk about your own startups or your own businesses that you might want to start, think about what those 5 things mean to you. And it's very, very powerful to have market validation, $600,000 in starter funds. It's very exciting to have 4,200 customers. The reason is because when you go to a VC or you go to that angel and you want $500,000 to start a company, what are they going to say to you? They're going to say, you have no market validation, you've got no customers, you've got no brand and no press, you don't have any money, and you don't have a roadmap that's tested that people actually want. Those same 5 things that that VC or that angel tells you as to why your company's worth less than it is or why they can't give you as much as you want, those same 5 things are the exact same things that you just solved during your Indiegogo or crowdfunding campaign. So when we have that conversation before Indiegogo and our crowdfunding campaign, it's entirely different than the conversation we had after. Just night and day different. And so I encourage you to think about those things when you talk about, gosh, how should I launch my next company? Why not put it on Indiegogo? Why not go that route? Why not look at Kickstarter? Why not look at other ways to raise money for your company? So between that, getting a fast start, it's basically a launching pad, just launching real quick, and then staying focused on your product, staying focused on your users, I feel like you can launch quick, you can build a sustainable company. And we're really grateful that we did it. We're very excited about the outcome because, like I said, our space is so hot right now. There's thermostats, there's locks, there's lights, there's cameras, and what we're finding is that people really crave security, really crave monitoring and awareness is what SkyBell provides. But they also crave connectivity. We have people that are using SkyBell. We have one story that we love that we always say is, or tell is, we have a customer and every day at 3 o'clock his boy comes home from kindergarten. And he knows that if he rings the button, he can talk to daddy. And so there's all these great outcomes that come from a product like this that was made possible by crowdfunding. But it also allows us to compete really quickly. It allows us to compete at a high level. And in this space, that's exactly what we need. So I would say keep focused on new ways to launch your companies. And from us, you can learn that Indiegogo is a great way to do it. And stay focused on your product and stay focused on your users. Good. Thank you, everybody.